This is only one. Everything is just one. We are so used to see that everything is two. We live in two, like good and bad, and better and worse, and this side and that side, before and after. Everything is in two. There's only one. There's only this. And this is just what is happening. It's just that what is. And it's not something special. It's already that what's happening. So it's not something new. It's not something you can reach. It's already there. And when there's a, a belief of that there's a me, and there's a huge embodied belief that you are there and your life is happening, then there will be always a search, the search for something what seems to be missing. And it seems like there's always two, and maybe for some people there's a certain remembering or something going on, like there has to be something else. It's something else as what we are doing here. And then in this time, the non-duality thing is going on. It's maybe first it was a therapy and things like personal growth and religion. And then in this period of time, that's more the non-duality. A lot of people are into non-duality. But also there are a lot of different non-duality meetings and teachers. And a lot of them are talking about something to reach. And I always thought that it would be, I'm here, that was just obvious. And I was talking about no me. So I was looking for, I had no me anymore. And I couldn't hear, this is already it. That was so not heard. It was so obvious. There's something not right yet. It's not, I have no me. No, I have a me, so it's not right. Or there's still that searching, or there's still something going on about development, or, oh, I see time, or I don't see that everything is apparent. So there's still something to look for, something that has to happen. I always thought that. And then suddenly the search stopped, but that sounds also a little bit complicated because it's simpler than that. Those thoughts about, oh, what can I do, or something like that, it's just not there anymore. And it can be one thought, but it's not going on anymore. And then suddenly it's so obvious, there never was a me. There already is no me. There never has been a me. It's just life. It's just life happening by itself. And it's the most easiest thing there is. You're so used to make to think that there's something going on, like you have to do something, you have not to do something, or maybe this is better, or I don't understand, so maybe is it like this, or is it like this, or oh, I want to check if I hear it right. There's nothing going on. It's the most simple thing. It's just everything. It's everything. So it's thinking I am not there. It's what is. It's just what's happening. So nothing can be wrong. Nothing can be reached because it's already that what is happening. And it's everything, just everything, nothing excluded. That's the unconditional love. That's everything. There's nothing excluded, nothing right, nothing wrong. Everything is just neutral. That's the longing. The longing is that there's nobody. There's just nothing, and there's nothing right or wrong. There's just what is happening. And the funny thing is, when there's no me, we're talking about when there's no me, but of course it's also very obvious then that already there was no me. So what did happen? Nothing did happen. It's just every time it's just new. So nothing did really happen. It's just different. could say, but it's always different. So it seems for when there's a me and feeling and a belief that there's something inside and there's looking for something, there's always something before, there's after. Maybe you don't see it, there's time because you can see there's no past, maybe there's no future. But there's a before and there's after, and there seems to be development. There is no development. That's only in a story, in an abstract story what the brain people can do, can make. There's no story. The story and the me are the same thing. But the story is so convincing. Everything seems so real and so important. Because when there's a feeling or a belief that there's someone, an embodied belief that someone, everything is solid and everything seems to be important. And everything seems to be there is a relation between yourself and somebody else. So everything can be threatening or can be a feeling of need or a longing for something. And a huge feeling of there's something missing, there's something not right, there's something not worthy, something like that. It's sometimes different. There's nothing wrong. There can't be anything wrong. It's just life happening in all kind of ways. And it's very simple and it's very concrete and normal. And it's already there, of course. It never went. It's the only thing there is. And still it seems there's somebody who's looking at it and trying to reach it and trying to do the right thing and go on and on. But that's the dream. That's the abstract dream of people who seems to be very real and convincing and hypnotic. And that's the only thing that isn't there anymore. For the rest, it's the same thing. There's nothing different. When there seems to be a me or there's no me, there's no difference. It's never a me. So when there are a lot of thoughts about, yeah, but I don't see that, then there's a thought, I don't see that. That's what's happening. And nothing can be wrong. Nothing can be reached. Those meetings are pointless. There are no answers. There can be questions, and any question is a good question, any question. So please ask any question. The only thing is there are no answers. There's no direction, there's no advice. Because this is already it. This is already what is happening. So nothing is wrong, nothing is missing. It's just this, very simple, very, very ordinary and normal. And it can be words, saying words, any words to people, or any reaction, any anger, anything, everything. Just what is happening already. So please, if you have any question or want to say something or anything, please do. Unmute yourself, or maybe you want to chat, use the chat. We have a discussion or a, how do you say, chat?
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hi. With the pandemic, there seems there's not a lot to do a lot of the time. And so I find I watched a bit more TV than I used to. And there's a lot of programs about turning your life around, making everything better, having a better life. Or if you have a business, rescuing the business and all the things you have to do to go on. So what I'm getting to is this business of making decisions to plan something and then to carry it out. And you have, it seems that you've been thinking about it. You choose, you make the right decision, or what seems the best. You do your best. You put into all this energy to achieve the result, turn around your life, or whatever, And obviously these things are possible. I mean, you see this, but so are you saying that these different stages of this process have nothing to do with each other? So the thoughts might arise, well, I need to turn around my life. And then maybe, how do I do it? And then a decision about that. And that just happens, and then putting it into practice, and then the final results or whatever, they have nothing to do with each other. Is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
We are so used that we are deciding it, but just thoughts are just there. From nowhere, from nothing. They just are there, and they have no power at all. But we are so convinced that we are deciding it, and yet that when it's decided, it will happen or not. Then you didn't do the right thing, or maybe that when it's not going the way you want, then maybe you did something wrong. That's an endless, but it's so convincing. Seems so the real world.
So it's not just
to do with anything.
Yes.
Sure. Sorry, say.
So it's not just that thoughts happen by themselves and they're meaningless. They just happen.
Yeah.
But the result seems like a result of the thought. That also just happens, and it has nothing to do with what was thought before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything, they just arise with no connection at all.
Yeah. It's like having a thought and drinking coffee and life just happening.
Even if
regardless anything, it just has nothing to do with thoughts or decisions or anything.
Right.
No.
So even if the decision making was involved with what seemed like great effort and anxiety and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The anxiety just arose too meaninglessly. And right.
There seems always, when there's a story, there's always seems to be connections to and relations between everything.
Yeah.
Because of and consequences, and because of this, that is happening. That's the abstract mind of people who can think like that. And underneath, you could say, it's just life happening, regardless anything. It's just a dream. But we think we do it, or we don't do it, or things like that. That's the suffering.
So even me thinking about, I'm going to listen to Rose at this time, and I'll get back. I was out, and I get back in time to do that, to catch this.
That's the only thing you can do. No, that's no, of course not. It's just happening. It's just, or no, you think I'm gonna listen, and it's totally not there anymore. And at 5 o'clock you think, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
Yeah, I have noticed sometimes that I make a definite decision, or it seems like that, and then I forget to do it altogether, or it just doesn't happen that way. Yeah.
But then we think, oh God, why did I not do that, or things like that. We're going to think about that, but it's just not there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Crazy. It's
Yeah. Okay.
But in the same time, it's also crazy that we are thinking we're in control of everything. Come on, it's just chaos. And we are always trying to do the thing that, because there's something missing. It has to become something. We're looking for always feeling happy or healthy or anything.
Mm.
And we have to do that. And then because there's something not right, there's something, when there's a feeling of maybe stress or something, oh, what's going on? And how can I change that? That's so strong. And it's just stress. Or just maybe the word stress is not even the good word.
So I find that it's difficult to make big decisions sometimes, and I put off making decisions, and sometimes just don't make it. Just forget something, or just push it out of the way altogether. That sort of thing, like it's too stressful. But this doesn't make anything better. This won't make decision making better, or even.
No, of course not.
Things are just.
There's no one doing it. It's already going by itself.
Yes.
So there can be a decision, but
yes.
it's just a decision from nowhere.
And there could be the same anxiety about, am I doing the right or wrong, and that may happen as well.
Yeah, when there's somebody there, it's always about, do I the right thing? Do I something wrong? Did I something wrong? That can be so embodied. That's so embodied, and then that goes on till it's an energetic thing. Till it's not there anymore. But that seems like a process or like something to reach.
Yeah.
That's for when there's someone, everything most of the time it's heard like when I'm saying, oh, but it goes on till it stops, something like that. Oh, there's something to reach. So it's difficult to say it in a certain way that we can't hear it, because it's always like, oh, you pick it up, you pick something out of it. That's how it goes. That's how that whole system trying to find something, or to know, or to finally see it, or something like that. And it can't hear, it's already what's happening.
Right. So it's possible that decision making or that sort of process, if it may become easier. It doesn't have to be always so anxiety provoking. I don't know.
I don't know. The decision seems to be made, but it's just what's.
Yeah.
It seems to be a decision, and that's the whole dream of abstract thinking. And we're thinking, oh, that's better than, oh, finally I know what I have to do, something like that.
Yeah.
And then maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't happen. I don't know. And sometimes it feels very stressful, and sometimes it feels very easy. And then you think, oh, now it's going much more easy. That will now there's something happening now. That's bullet. It's nothing. It doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, I'm aware that some of my activities they could be seen as involving lots and lots of decisions, but it's just very easy. It's not a problem. And then other things.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rose. What comes up the last couple of 1-2 weeks is that it's clearer, more or less, that there is nobody there who makes a life work, you know, who make a decision, who whatever. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
And with seeing that, it's clearer that I never made a decision. Decisions happen or not. And after that, I say, I do that or I do that this way or that way. But it is when decisions have to be taken, more or less, like life situation change and you have to make a decision, more or less. And I find it really difficult to say, I'm not the one who is in control of this life. And but on the other side, there's no impulse to go in this direction or this direction. So that is a little bit of a struggle at the moment where I say, okay, I don't be in control, but I have to move, to go this direction or this direction, or make a decision, more or less. And so this is, and I'm waiting and say, okay, I don't make a decision, and there nothing coming up from within, which direction it may go or not go. And that is really difficult for the person, more or less, because you know it's seen you are not in control, you have not the power to do anything, but things have to be done, more or less. Could you say something about it?
Yeah, because there's always a feeling like there's someone, and this is my life somewhere. Yeah. Maybe there's something clearer about me doing it, but there's still someone somewhere, and there's my life. And when there's my life, everything seems very solid and real. And sometimes it's like you can see through it and see like, oh boy, it's not really important, but some decisions seems to be very important. And then that me is also somebody who's, no, it becomes, in some kind of way, it becomes important, that the right decision. And then that's when there's a me, there's always something important, because the me wants to feel good. So it seems like if I don't do the right decision, maybe everything falls apart, or I don't have any money anymore, or things like that. Nothing is real. Everything is just apparent. But when there's still a me, it's in certain circumstances, it seems very real and important. So everything seems suddenly very real, very important, very like, ooh, I'm waiting for the decision because I know it's not me making a decision, but still there's something going on, like when is it coming, or what is going on? Yeah. There's no one, and nothing is important, but that when there's still subtle something going on, like it's my life, and you can't say to yourself, oh, nothing is important. That's just a concept, because it doesn't feel like that. And if it feels like it's important, then it feels like it's important, and I have to make a decision, and it's going like that. Oh. Yeah. It's not wrong, but it can be frustrating or something like that. But then there's a certain feeling and seeing the things very straight or very real. So what?
Yeah, because what comes up the last couple of weeks or so, the idea that I'm out of the game, more or less. I never do the life or have a life, more or less. Yeah. And the other side, as you said, it feels real, more or less.
Yeah, Yeah.
The idea in the background that there is no me didn't help in the daily life, when it feels real, more or less. So,
yeah, that's in and out. You could say, like, it's sometimes it's just being and nothing going on, and then suddenly that's that meing and whirl. Everything seems so real, and yeah, that's moving in and out. Yeah, in and out. Wow, that's not really, but in a way you could say that it's sometimes it's really nothing going on, and then suddenly it's really the me is just so strong, can be so strong in certain situations. A lot of people, certain themes, when it's going about money or relationships or things like that, or your house or work. Certain, yeah, some people have some things going on about that. Then it seems to be suddenly you can say anything like, oh, there's no me and nothing is good, but that's just a concept. It's not about saying to yourself, there's no me and nothing is in, that's something else. And everybody knows, in sometimes it's just not an issue. So there's nothing going on about that. And suddenly it's just an issue. It's just seems, suddenly it's important. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, then it's maybe more stress or more thoughts going on. That's what's happening. That's the same as drinking coffee, but it's just in importance. But it feels like, oh, this is more very important. But it's just the same. It's just different than drinking coffee or being relaxed. It's just different. Nothing better or worse. But it feels like that because we are so longing for relaxation or freedom or something. But that's the state.
Yeah, because what I see when you come to non-duality or so, and it gets kind of intellectual, more or less. You can understand the message more or less, but it didn't help you anyway.
No, doesn't help. No, that's just a new method or a new concept that's trying to get your life work, something like that.
Yeah.
The same as therapy or anything else. But it's confirming that there's someone who can do something. And that's, it's, you can't say to yourself, oh, there's no me. It's just a concept and then it's gone. And it's not wrong that then there's a lot of stress and making decision and into it. Then that's what's going on. That's not wrong. It can be stressful, but then there's stress. There can be stress here when there's no me going on. There can be stress too. It's not because of you have to make decisions, there's stress. It's just there's stress. There can be any time here too. There can be stress or tension or anger or anything. So in that sense, there's no difference. The only difference is that there's not a whole thing going on about looking at it and thinking, oh, this is going wrong or whatever. But that feelings and things like that's just the same. It's not a better life. It's not everything. It's not like there's nothing going on about. There's not much more money now or something like that, or anything, or there can be illness also. You don't know.
So everything is just happening for no one. And it could be stress, it could be worries, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
It's just energetic how that works. And we think, and that's that me thing extra, we can manage that. We can control that. We can make that different. That's the dream. That's the misunderstanding. That's the only misunderstanding, that. And the rest is just already there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Ah, there's a chat. I seem to experience many odd and strange thoughts, but they don't mean anything. They're just energies showing up in that form. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that can be there. I've sometimes when I'm watching a movie and then in the middle of the night I'm waking up, and there are a lot of thoughts about that movie and going on, and then it stops. But it can be about anything. Mm. Yeah, it's just energy. With no meaning. That's strange because we're so used to give meaning to thoughts, content, important.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
It's odd, the sort of things that you're saying, they could be read in another context as a sign of depression, of meaninglessness, and nothing. You can't do anything, powerlessness, and another thing. And you're saying this, but with a big smile or with a sense of humor. It's odd. You know what I mean? You're saying this very definitely, and in another context.
Yeah.
It's like it's a mental illness sort of thing, which needs treatment. You know.
Yeah. Because that's the loss of control that seems so frightening, and then thinking, oh wow, I can't do anything, and I don't know. That's also very frightening.
Yeah.
But there's always not knowing. How do we know what will happen? You don't know. It's just there. So what? Yeah. But when you think there's someone having to make your life work, it's very important that you sit for the television and you don't do something for yourself to make yourself more healthy or something like, God, boing, boing, boing. It's going on like that. It seems so normal. Yeah.
I know someone who's like involved in counseling, like therapy. He is a counselor himself, and sometimes he, if we go for a walk, meet up, and we'll have a chat, and then I'll say something, and if it's something that's a little bit negative, he'll try and do some sort of like therapeutic thing. He'll try to be helpful and that sort of thing, and I'm just talking. There's nothing special about it, but he's trying to be helpful, and sometimes I even recognize the therapeutic technique that he's using and that sort of thing. But he can't accept that it's not a problem.
Yeah. But it's a huge system trying to help other people, because that makes you feel better. Yeah. It's always coming back to yourself, to feeling better. That gives you a feeling like, oh, I can do something. Yeah. Wrong, but it's an agenda. There's a subtle agenda there. Don't need to be, but sometimes it can be helped without anything, just saying something can be too there.
Well, sometimes it's kind of enjoyable just to have a moan about something, or to say something negative, and then in the next minute it's gone and it doesn't matter.
It's freedom, that there's nothing trying to change anything. That's huge, because there's so much trying to change and trying to be better, or trying to have another feeling, or to relax, or to anything. And when that's not going on, God, that's the freedom. But it doesn't change your life happening, like it's a better life or something like that. But there's nothing going on about that has to change.
Mm.
That doesn't mean that there can't be a decision like a headache and then taking pills or something like that. But that seems to be, oh, I don't want that headache. You can think that, but it doesn't need to be that. It can just taking pills. And then on top of it, there can be, oh, I don't want it, or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes there's a feeling and you don't even know what it is. So what?
Right.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Something funny happened last night. I was having a Zoom conversation in a group, and these are people who have been to non-duality type meetings and all that sort of thing, and so they have that background. And but funnily enough, the conversation doesn't often turn to non-duality. They talk about lots of other things, or politics, or things, you know. But last night they were talking about it. It did come up because somebody, a couple had gone on a special Zoom course thing with a non-duality teacher, and they were very enthusiastic about it. And it led to other things. And in this conversation, it got heated in a nice way. People were animated, and I mentioned this thing about the body, that the body isn't solid. And suddenly, this was taken as something very shocking and ridiculous. And this other person, who he's quite, you know, he's actually made a film about non-duality, and he's seen a lot of these things, but he thought this is you know what, you know, and he was saying, look, if I have an operation, that, you know, I get cut open and all this kind of thing, you know. And so I said something like, well, I think I use one of your words like, this is, well, this kind of thing, it is sort of crazy. And he was still saying something about it. So I said, well, you can't hear this, or it seems impossible because you're normal. You're normal. And because that isn't a normal way of thinking. And he became very insulted that I called him normal, because he thought I was saying that he was uninteresting or not a character or that sort of thing, you know. And he wanted to be crazy, but it is crazy. It is in the context of what is normal. This is crazy talk, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes it's threatening because that's such a huge belief, and it doesn't feel like a belief. It's like a certainty that there's a body and I have to take care of it.
Yes.
Wow. And then somebody saying it's just not real. Like, now the most easy thing is like, you're crazy, but some people are really, I know that with some people that they can be very angry when
it wasn't serious anger. It was all very enjoyable, heated the thing and saying things to each other. But and it was okay because it was a group that knew that it's already crazy, the whole new thing. So it's okay to talk. But I wouldn't say it to anyone else, you know.
Yeah, sure. Why should you? Because I don't talk about this with friends or something like that. Why should I? Sometimes when there's a conversation going on, maybe there can be saying something about that, but in a very subtle way, and not. I don't. Why should I? They can be talking about anything. It's only. It's funny because in those meetings, it's coming out just like that. And normally, when people asking, or just when I'm just sitting, there's nothing coming about this. Or when somebody asking and there's, I don't know, maybe there's not hearing it, then it's just not there's nothing coming also. It's like that. Then there's just a difference in the way we see things. No, then it's like that.
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah.
The,
It's crazy. It's, of course, crazy to say everything is empty. What do you mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can think of to make it make sense to this person.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but I mean, he wouldn't sort of have me put into hospital, you know, for mental illness. But it is, yeah, because it's funny. I only started thinking about, well, not thinking about it. It was hearing you say that it was talking about the body being empty. That was a surprise to me recently, and I saw what you meant, and I heard you, and so I'm sort of yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. When this, it wasn't clear when that whole thing, like in that sauna, and then there was no me, and well, you could say that, but all those things were not so clear at that time. So that in maybe after, I don't know, many years, but then there was suddenly that was like, oh, there was like already it was empty, but it was still, I can't say, it was more obvious, something like that. And then I had to laugh. I had to laugh a few days, like, oh my God, it's even more crazy, or it's certain obvious, and then suddenly it's just more obvious, or yeah, I can't, something like that. It's can be going like that, and then it's wow, and then then that's getting normal, and then no thoughts about that anymore.
I think hearing it from you, it opened up the possibility that it was so, and I saw that was a shock, and that it may actually be so, and so
yeah.
So it isn't. It's not settled. It's just sort of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's shaken.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's the energetic part of this. That suddenly a concept is heard, and it's like, oh, there was a concept. Oh, and then that's going on. The light entered the darkness, you could say, and then it's just going on. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so one moment. Wait, let's see. So what happens to the character during deep sleep? No position to maintain, freedom for no one every day. During deep sleep, there's nothing happening. There's just nothing. So there's no character. There's just nothing. And then seems to be when there's waking up something, there seems to be a room or a bed, apparently. So Rose, in the dream where the me seems to be a real I, not even there is in the story, it's free will. That's only a thought. Thought, it's a belief, I think. Yeah, thought, belief. May I feel as Amrita, I have no responsibility. Everything is just happening. Can feel freedom, Amrita, or Amrita only hide freedom. Whoa. There is also no Amrita. Oh God, it's even more crazy. It's becoming more crazy. There's no Amrita. There's just what is happening. So there's maybe that body, or there's feeling, or there's somebody saying, Amrita, oh, then there's no character. Yeah, you could say in the story, when we're talking, that's the difficulty. There's talking in the story, and then there seems to be a character, and there is the dream that there can be responsibility of all those things, and there can be good and bad and things like that. That's the whole dream in the story, but there is no story. So there is also no me, there's only this, and that's also no character, there's just what's happening, very singular. So there's just a sensation, or getting coffee, or walking, or just very, very tiny, simple. And when there's the story, there seems to happen all those abstract things like having responsibility, and I don't feel freedom, and maybe I'm hiding, there's something going on, that's always I'm escaping from it, and maybe what should I do to feel more the freedom there is, something like that. That's a lot of methods and religions, and maybe all non-duality, and maybe other things going on about how that will work. This is about, there's nothing going on. There's no person, there's no individual. Everything is just apparently happening. So it's just a big soup, you could say. And there seems to be different things in it, but it's just one. But we are thinking, oh, I am here, so this is in this body, so that is real. So there next to me, there is a glass, and then that's also real, and I can decide to pick up that glass and go on and on. But it's just one. And it's nothing that you can't understand. This is not about understanding. So when it said there's one, then the thoughts are coming like, oh, trying to make an image of it, or trying to understand what's going on, what is one, or making a concept of it. You can't, it can't. Or it suddenly can be a moment of, oh, it's like this, and you can't describe it. It's just not, you can't describe it. It's always new, so it's just this, and that's one thing. But it's the most simple thing. It's not very one in with a big capital one and special. Some religions are describing it as something special, and I think a lot of religions were describing it in a very complicated way I couldn't understand. So, but it's the most simple thing there is. But the only thing is you can't tell, you can't say, you can't. But why should you? It's just life. Doesn't matter. It's everything. It's everything. It's just everything. The way the moving is going, the way the face is looking. That's unconditional love already. It's just life, aliveness. That's it. Nothing hiding. When it's not flow, there's no flow or something like, or it's not, the body is not like, oh, there's some stress in the body or something like that. Oh, there's still something going on, or I don't feel that. Then that's complete. The completeness is that what is felt. So there can be a little bit stress. That's it. That's complete. This is only describing what is happening. It's not saying how it should be or can be or what you can do. There's nothing going on about that. That's the dream. That's the suffering. This is just saying, oh, this is it. It's very simple. How can, the funny thing is, when this was suddenly so clear, it was like, oh, how could I not see this? Because it's so obvious and simple. And at the same time, it's so hidden because there's such a longing and a looking for it that it always is hiding. But it's what Tony Parsons said, it's an open secret. It's just obvious. It's just always there. But it hides by being everything. It's not something something, we're looking for something, a state or a feeling or understanding. It's everything already.
Hey, Rose, when we say the body is empty, and I come for years now to Tony's talks and so on. And years ago, I read a lot of stories about Indian yogis and whatever, and their CDs and whatever. And when I come to Tony, he never talking about miracles or something, because to see that the body is empty, everything is possible, more or less. So I hear the story that people died and disappeared more or less and didn't leave anything behind. And there are a lot of stories about Indian yogis and their powers and whatever, because there's absolutely nothing fixed in this universe, so everything's possible. But coming here to non-duality, I never hear anything about something like that. So people die, disappear, or whatever, and miracles. And I wonder a little bit, when everything is possible, more or less, you didn't hear anything about here when you come to Tony. So okay, nothing in the universe is fixed, more or less, as everything is possible. And after all, everything seems appear here in the Western world really solid and fixed, and even in non-duality talks, nobody talks about miracles and stuff like that. I'm wondering if everything is possible, so you never hear anything about that. And Indian culture, it was normal more or less in former days. Could you say something about that?
Yeah, but there can be, you can say a miracle, but then that seems to be very special in a way.
Yeah.
And then, wow, there's some pigeons here making love, I think. there's just, everything is, yeah, why should there be something special? Then drinking coffee or walking, it's just the same. So it's making something very special, and then that's wow. But everything is wow. It's just a carpet. It's just it's a carpet. That's already the miracle. So why should it be something like angels or I don't know what that makes it more. I don't know why that happens. It's maybe that's me looking for something special or to be something special. But it's just everything. It's just everything is just, it's a miracle. It's just energy and it's a carpet. God, you can't, you don't sit the whole day like, like this, but in a subtle way. It's just, everything is like, like little children. It's like, it's a wonder. It's a wonder. But in a very, very subtle, normal way.
So it's nothing extraordinary, more or less. It's just ordinary wonder.
And then when there's talking about miracles, the ordinary thing seems just ordinary. Something. No, it's just, it's ordinary, and it's also a miracle, but it's just the walking or a feet or that hand. Like little babies can look at their feet. You can see like, what the wonder of that. But it's just very normal wonder, like normal things. And it doesn't need to be some special miracles or so.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering what's going on, because I hear that people realize more or less that everything's empty and they could walk through walls and whatever and never hear anything here from the Western part of the world, where I thought, okay, there seem the abilities for some things. When you realize that everything's empty, well, it's realized that there's nobody there, everything's empty. So the regular borders for regular person disappear more or less. So there are more possibilities for things to develop.
But when it's obvious that everything is just empty and just energy, why should I be walking through walls?
Yeah.
Like it's like if the normal thing are not enough, there has to be something special going on, because before that you couldn't do that, and after that there's something special. You can walk through walls. Why should you walk through walls? It's the walking is already the miracle. So why should it be something special that makes everything else like less or something like that? Yeah. And it's already there. That's also because then you're looking for something like, oh, I can remember I was reading a book like people could travel, like they were there and then suddenly they were on another place 5 minutes later or something. Like I thought, oh, I tried it, and I like, oh wow, that would be I want to meet those people who can learn you that or something like that. Of course, that's something special. You want to be something, you want to be able to do something special. And when this is happening, or not really happening, when this is going on, there's no Rose. There's no Rose. There's just that body or a hand going. There's nothing going on. So
that's special enough.
Yeah, that's a disappointment in a way, you could say. Like, oh, it's just that body moving. That's everything. So no one is now with special abilities or so.
Yeah, because probably that increased the story of me.
Yeah.
Also, to hear the stories and oh yeah, I like to go there and do this and do that. That's increasing for me also.
Yeah, then you have to eat rice and be on the mountain like that. God. And that's confirming that there's someone who can do that. It's happening or not happening, apparently also. So it's not real. But, whatever.
Yeah, I just wondered why the story didn't appear in the West.
I remember reading that book. I wanted to be the Masters of the Far East, was that? I remember.
Yeah, or the Masters of Himalayas.
So special. I want to meet. I thought. I want to meet those people. I want to meet. I was meditating like that.
Yeah, because the story is beautiful. I like to go there. Okay, I just started.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, the letter chats. One moment. Oh God. It seems obvious that life energy is the miracle. Yeah. It seems to be sustaining and maintaining this intelligent desire by beating the heart. Yeah. It's just already that. Already, yeah. It's just, that's the miracle. It's amazing how everything is working and going and in a chaotic way, and it's just like there's just that. How is it? Oh God, and it seems very real and moving, and it's amazing. That's with everything, and it's everything. God, yeah, sure. Yeah. It's very normal also. It's very simple. Yeah.
Hi Rose, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, I hear somewhere. Somebody? Hello?
Is my mic really low?
Oh, it's very, very, I can hear it very, if you can speak loud, then it may be more easy to hear.
Yeah, I'll try. How about now? Can you hear me?
This is it. Yeah.
Okay. Hello. I wanted to ask you, like, since you say like space and time are illusions, right?
Yeah.
Then what about those scientists who are trying to figure out this and that and about the truth about the universe? Like, are they fundamentally on a wrong path? Like, according to this statement, they will never find out the truth because space and time is the basis of their investigation. So, would you say they are fundamentally wrong that they will never figure out what the truth is from their
There
method?
is no truth. There is no truth. There is just what's happening. And this is not about the truth. That doesn't exist. And it's trying to know. A lot of things are trying. It's not wrong trying to know. That's just how it goes. That's just what's happening. But it's very strong survival system trying to make yourself safe or to feel comfortable. It's not wrong, of course not. It's just what's happening, but it's leading nowhere. It's endless. It will never end, of course. It's never the end.
So the investigation is endless. It will never end.
Yeah, yeah. And it will never be found. What is looked for, it will never be found. There's something going on like, I want to, when that's, a lot of people have just some agenda but underneath, like, when I really find it out, then there will be peace or there will be freedom or I don't know, something else. It never will, because it's not, you don't find it in the story. That's a misunderstanding, but it seems so the normal way. It will never be found because it's everything. It's not something, it's everything. That's how it hides.
And now that you express yourself through speech like this, what medium do you think is best suited to express this non-dual realization of yours?
Which medium?
Like, is painting better or music better or just talking about it? What is more closest to what you're trying to say?
No, nothing is better than anything. It's just different. And maybe there's an expressing now in words or in talking, or it can be in anything. It's always expressing itself. Life is always shouting like, hello, I am here, hello. And we are like, oh, what is this? What is this? Oh, maybe I don't, what is going on? Hello. And there's just a hand, and it's just a hand waving. That's already there. Hello. But we are like, oh, why don't I feel like comfortable? God, it's going on and looking for anything. And it's just in everything. It can be in pop music or walking or anything. It doesn't matter. Everything is it, of course. It's expressed by everything. But there's something going on, like when there's a me is looking at it and dividing, like, oh, this is good, this is bad. Oh, maybe I should do this, and feeling like, oh, what is the best thing? There is no best thing, of course. It's everything. And nothing is wrong. Oh, God, that's somewhere me, and when there's a me going on, subtle belief like I am here, then it can't be heard that it's everything. There's nothing wrong. It's just what is happening. Doesn't matter what it is. It's everything. Oh, I'm shouting, I think. God, I get excited.
And I've also heard you say that it does not make sense, that there is no reason, there is no point in trying to understand it. So it's just like, it makes no sense. Like, it's just.
No, it's not, you can't understand. Life is not about understanding. When there's a flower, and then understand what is there. Understanding a flower, it's just a flower, just that. It's just a tree. It's just feelings. It's just that. That's it. Nothing more. We are like, oh, what is going on here? That's that abstract thoughts that's going on. And that's the dream. It's not wrong. That's just an energy going on. But it seems very real and important. It's just also thoughts going on. And then at the same time, there's trees and flowers and coffee and watching television. For no reason. Nothing has any reason. It's just life going. It's just, there's nothing happening. It seems that everything with a lot of events and everything seems very real. In the outside world, there's a lot of things happening and we have to deal with that. There's nothing happening. It's an apparent happening. There's no outside world. Whoa, that's in that pandemic. And I'm not going outside and saying to people, oh, don't wear the hand mask. There's nothing going on. No, that's crazy. That it's just, there's going outside and wearing hand masks. And that's what's going on. That's just what's happening. But it's, nothing is real. That's crazy to hear when there's so many concepts about this is real, my body is real, the life and the world, and there's suddenly somebody is saying nothing is real, it's just empty and nothing is important. Like, oh, what's going on here? This is shaking concepts, you could say. And that can be, I don't know what's happening there. Doesn't matter. Okay, there's also here, wait. How can there be an open secret if this is all there is? It's an open secret in when we are talking in the story of when there's somebody, when there's looking for something, there seems to be a secret and a mystery and what is going on, and they're looking for it, and at the same time it's obvious. It has always been obvious. It's never hiding. It's always just the way everything is. But when there's a looking, there seems to be a secret, because you're looking for something, because you think there's something missing. So that seems like there has to be a secret. There's a mystery and what's going on. And maybe when I do this, I can find it, or that. But it's hiding by being everything. So there's, in the same time, there's no secret, of course. When I'm saying this is all there is, then it's obvious there's no secret. But when there's looking for it, that there seems to be a secret. Okay, there's another chat. It may happen that the I image dissolves even if the person has no significant insights, enlightenment in the story. You say everything can happen, but is it also? Yeah, there can be a dissolving and that there's no me, and the person it's not noticed. Of course, because it's so normal, it isn't noticed. When somebody is not, if you are not meeting maybe people like who talking about non-duality, and you're just selling vegetables and never heard of anything, and then it dissolves, and then it's just normal. It's just, and the agenda disappears. It's just normal, easy life. So it doesn't need to be noticed. No. Because it's very normal. It's not a special thing like sitting on the front of people and showing your enlightenment. No. When here there was that moment when suddenly everything was so clear and obvious, and then that everything was so clear that fell away, and there was just normal life, and there was still sometimes there coming up some doubt, because I was not sure, is this no me anymore? I wasn't sure. And then after some months, those doubts didn't come up anymore, because there was nothing. The funny thing was, the doubt came and then I forgot. So there was nothing going on about doing something with it. But because then it's coming up and it's falling away, it isn't noticed. It was not noticed that there was nothing going on about picking up those thoughts. So it was just forgotten. And then after a while, those thoughts didn't come anymore. So it's not about knowing there's no one. It's no issue anymore. There's no doubt or belief going on. Yeah.
Hey, Rose.
Yeah.
With regards to your seeing the, let's say, the actual state of reality, do you think that the mind has to somehow be like frozen, or somehow, the mind has to shut off for this to be seen, or does it have no relation to the state of your mind? Like, if you have a very busy mind, or if you have very thinking, very rational mind, is it less likely that you'll ever see this?
No, that I don't know. It can be regardless anything. It's no reason that there's something already going on like that, or when person is very into the mind or anything else. There's no reason. It's just, and there's all the, I finally there's no mind. Mind seems to be a collection of thoughts. There's no collection. There's just thoughts happening. So we are talking in the story like there's somebody with a mind, and there's very in the head going on all the thoughts, and other people are more in the body or things like that. That's the story. It doesn't matter. It's just different. Every body, mind, it's just different. It's just unique. That's the joy. Doesn't matter.
Wouldn't you say that people who are like very hardcore meditators would be more likely to see this than like regular people?
No, of course not. There are no people. There are no individuals. So it's just energetic, and has nothing to do with what is done. It has nothing to do with circumstancing or behavior. That's what we're thinking. That a certain behavior will lead us to something. That's the misunderstanding. That's the dream. Behavior is just moving in a certain way. It's a story. Nothing is important. Nothing is important. That's huge. You're so into trying to figure it out. And then suddenly it's heard like nothing is important. It doesn't matter what is done, if there's watching television all day or there's meditating. It doesn't matter. That's huge, because we're so into doing the right thing. There's no right thing. There's just what's happening. And when there's watching television all day with candies, so what? There's nothing going on. It's an apparent happening. So when that's happening. So that's unconditional love, eating candy. Why not? Yeah. That's the amazing part of this message. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing right. It's just what it is, with no meaning. It's just what it is. It's just aliveness in anything everything. It's everything. God, that's the freedom. That's unconditional love. Wow, it's amazing. That's the longing. But it's not it's not unconditional love for someone. For no one. But not no one. This is not, Rose is not no one. There's no Rose. It's just a way to put it, because there's certain words putting it. But there's just unconditional love. That face is unconditional love facing. That's it. Certain face. Ah, another one. If I didn't believe that I needed to improve something about myself, would I be any interest in solving any problem or changing anything? I didn't. If I didn't, there are no problems then. When there's no one, there are no problems, because that what is happening is it. And it doesn't mean that it's nice or so, or what you want. It's just what's happening. And it can be an awful feeling, like that. And that's what's happening. And that doesn't mean that you say, oh, that's just what's happening. That's awful that people say to when you're feeling like, oh, like hell, and people say, oh, that's just what's happening. Come on, it's just, come on, it's an awful feeling. Yeah, but that's it. It's not making something else of it. Why? And then the funny thing is, when there's nothing going on about anything, then it's there and it's not there. It's free. That's the freedom. So there are no problems. Problems, it's only problems part of the story, that there's someone who has to solve and have to take care of life or to do things. There's no one, already no one. And when you have the feeling, I need to solve a problem, then there's a lot of thoughts going on. Oh, then that's what's happening. But the fear is when I don't do that making things happen or something like that, then everything falls apart. The only thing what falls apart is the dream. And life is just going on like it did before. But the dream, the feeling of control, is like I am that. So for me, for your feeling, like, oh, I'm falling apart. That's not going right. That can be very frightening. And there's a lot of investment in having control or doing the right thing. And when that control is a bit falling away, like, oh, everything can be going wrong, can be frightening. But it was already no control. So, but that's for me, it doesn't feel like that most of the time. There's no need to improve yourself. That's the misunderstanding, that there is something wrong, that there needs something to be better or better functioning or behaving, or wow, that's the misunderstanding. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing right, of course. It's just neutral. This is not the truth. This is not something you can take home, or you have to take home and think about it. No homework. This is just talking about what is seen and what is describing what is happening. And it's sometimes it makes some concepts like, oh, they're shaken or not that strong anymore. Because that can be some concepts can be very rich and strong. And if that doesn't matter, if that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. Because nothing needs to happen. It's already what is going on. Because we are so good in abstracting everything and looking at yourself and trying to understand or make things happen. It's already this. It's already what's happening. It's already the way the moving is going, the way the body is looking. It's already that. Nothing is wrong. Nothing can be wrong. It's just life happening. It's not we are doing it. There's no one. It's just empty. Everything is empty. There's nothing real or solid. It's just empty. And it's not only empty, it's an apparent happening. So nothing is real. And it's crazy to hear when somebody is so convinced of everything is real and solid and I have to do something and there's something not right yet. And then there's something heard like, oh, nothing is wrong. This is already unconditional love. Everything is already unconditional love. It's just treeing, rosing, anything. It's everything. There's no exclusion of anything. It's just everything. There's also no escape. It's just everything. And that can be sensations and feelings and anger and nothing going on, not knowing. The same as what's happening. There's no difference between this body or another body. It's just different. It's not a better life. This is not about a better life. There is no better life. There is no one who is having a life, who is having a body. It's just bodying. There's already no one. Thank you. Thank you.